During the Etsy Q1 investors call, we learned a lot about the direction of Etsy, especially when it comes to the factors that will be important for success in 2025 and beyond. Namely, the factors that will contribute to search ranking on Etsy, and how listings will be prioritized in search. And as someone who studies Etsy's algorithm, I'm fascinated by the possibilities, but I can also see how less motivated sellers could fall behind if they don't buckle down and begin working to improve upon the factors that Etsy will be prioritizing as they move forward. And while Etsy CEO Josh Silverman didn't disclose too much about algorithmic updates, it's easy to speculate the overall direction of the algorithm based on the tidbits that he did disclose. For those who are new here, my name is Starla Moore, founder of the Handmade Alpha Academy for Etsy sellers and manager at erank.com, Etsy's most popular SEO tool. And obviously, as a manager at Etsy's leading SEO integration, understanding the ins and outs of Etsy's search algorithm is extremely important. In fact, aside from Pam Duthie, who is also a manager at erank, be sure to subscribe to her channel up here, we are the only YouTubers who work professionally in the realm of Etsy SEO. And I'm not telling you this to toot my own horn. I'm telling you this because when it comes to updates like these, much of what I'll be sharing today is completely speculative. In this day and age of YouTube, many Etsy coaches pretend that they have definitive answers, but often this isn't the case. Etsy SEO, and more specifically the Etsy algorithm, is as sacred to Etsy as the Krabby Patty secret formula is to the Krusty Krab. And while Etsy gives us small breadcrumbs that help to lead us in the right direction, they have never and will never fully disclose how their algorithm works. Because obviously, if they did, smarty pants scammy scammers would find ways to exploit the algorithm in order to occupy every search page, not something we or Etsy wants. So for the sake of transparency today, I'll be noting anytime that I make a relatively speculative statement based on my existing knowledge of how Etsy search as well as machine learning works. That way you can weigh my words analytically on your own. All right, enough disclaimers, let's dive into the updates. It should come as no surprise that GMS, or gross merchandise sales, on Etsy is still down. Comparing the Q1 popularity of Etsy, Amazon, and eBay, we can see similar traffic dips during the Q1 season, likely due to economic strain, ongoing US tariffs, and the annual dip that we tend to see around this time each year. Because yeah, after the holiday season, sales tend to slow down on most marketplaces, something we have been talking about here on my channel for nearly 7 years now. But that's nothing surprising. What was surprising was the increased app activity reported on Etsy. In fact, Q1 saw Etsy's highest ever GMS from the app, a whopping 44.5% of total GMS. And this is after several months of ongoing app refinement, which Etsy is clearly quite proud of. During the 2024 Q4 report, Josh Silverman stated that their goal was to make the app a place where a user could browse for fun, being shown an assortment of products right from their home screen that they may not have considered purchasing before, almost like Pinterest. In 2025, Etsy has really worked to make their app aspirations a reality, refining their algorithms to provide users with a curated feed of both new and interesting items that they've never thought to search for, as well as items uniquely curated for you, the user, based on past searches and habits on the platform. In fact, there were multiple points during the presentation where Josh cited wanting to make the app feel like your personal boutique of products curated just for you. And honestly, from an algorithmic perspective, this is a good move. Etsy's no longer a tiny marketplace, and competition on Etsy gets fiercer by the day. While most shopping on Etsy is done through direct search, these curated feeds allow Etsy to shine a spotlight on products that may not be getting as much attention. And with machine learning, Etsy is able to match your products directly to your ideal target customers, even if the customer may not have thought to search for this type of item. A huge win in my book. But what does this mean for sellers? It means that app prioritization should be key when creating listings. This means optimizing listing photos for smaller screens, ensuring photos are clear and easy to understand, and leading your listing title with terms that explain exactly what the product is. Since both desktop and mobile searches only display a brief title snippet, we want to ensure shoppers can quickly distinguish what you're selling within about a quarter of a second, or the time it takes for someone to analyze a single item on a page before scrolling. It also means that sellers should spend a bit more time learning about the mobile experience from a shopper's perspective, especially if you're one of those sellers who doesn't necessarily make many purchases on Etsy, or if you're someone who has never used Etsy's app before. Because what you'll notice when scrolling through this endless feed of curated products is that every product image displayed is very stylized. In fact, it almost feels akin to scrolling through a platform like Pinterest, where quality of images are prioritized. And this brings me to my next update. With the increased data collection measurements taking place at Etsy, both collection from sellers as well as shoppers, Etsy is utilizing machine learning more than ever. And a big part of this stems from how shoppers directly interact with products that they see on their screens. In this diagram, Etsy essentially highlights the roadmap of a customer journey, a process that is no longer as easy as just entering a keyword and seeing listings that contain that keyword. Instead, Etsy has evolved to a more data-centric model that involves creating a more fun and interactive browsing experience. Again, this is that feed of cool items that we discussed a few minutes ago. Then capturing data about how the shopper interacts with those interesting new products, such as what they click on or what they favorite, in order to build a bit of a profile about what this unique shopper is most interested in. Then they use this data in their AI models to create an even more personalized experience, especially when it comes to personalized advertising, like those Etsy ads that you sometimes see on Facebook that feel like they were curated just for you based on things that you've searched for in the past. And lastly, and more importantly, they use this data to ensure a shopper's searches on Etsy result in items that most accurately fit the style this unique shopper has an affinity towards. Again, all positive things for a competitive marketplace, because Etsy can now use data to show your products to the shopper who is most likely to buy them. Something you may not be feeling too much right now due to the annual sales dip on top of a poor economic climate, but something we should all feel optimistic about as we move into the 2025 holiday season, which starts in August, by the way, for a bit of perspective, so it's not as far off as we may think. As we move forward into a new age of Etsy, we need to be extremely mindful of the human experience on the platform. Time and time again, sellers will ask me things like, "When will I make my first sale?" as if there's a magical money-granting robot that dishes out sales on certain days. Instead, we need to remember that Etsy is a place where real human beings come to find unique, quality items. And while AI is used when matching products to consumers, these models are trained based on the real human behaviors and interests that they observe. In order to move forward, your best strategy is to appeal to the real humans who are holding credit cards. Because while SEO and keywords will always be important, we also need to remember that running a successful and sustainable business is about serving people. Over the last 7 years, I've taught the concept of psychology-based marketing at high schools, colleges, and large-scale conferences, helping business owners to understand how to appeal to the natural psychological triggers that all humans rely on when it comes to the process of decision-making. And starting on June 14th, I'll be opening the doors to my online Etsy coaching program, the Handmade Alpha Academy, where I teach these same neuromarketing tactics in a self-paced online classroom environment. To be clear, this isn't a program about setting up an Etsy shop. It's an entire business mindset that will challenge you to reevaluate your business's structure and develop systems within your shop, branding, and marketing that are designed to appeal to natural psychological triggers. In fact, HAA is the only Etsy course in the world of its kind, taking you past surface-level strategies and into the bedrock of your business. And this season, we're offering major incentives to new students, including 1 year of eRank Pro, annual access to our Alpha Holiday Bootcamp, and the Product Photography Essentials Workshop by Coach Christina Nicole. I know taking a leap of faith is terrifying, which is why HAA includes a 30-day, zero questions asked, money-back guarantee. If you get inside and don't absolutely love the program, just send us an email and we'll refund you in full. Though the program is self-paced and students have lifetime access, limited registration only takes place from June 14th through June 24th. So if this sounds like something you may be interested in checking out, be sure to visit the link right here somewhere, and down below to check out our success stories and the class curriculum. Until next time, Pookie.